Hey, this is Bob Pellerin, CTOBOB, and we are doing a road trip special edition using the Toyota RAV4 Prime. So we just went from Montreal to New York, as you can see by the sign behind me, and so we're going to be documenting as much as we can, the car itself, the mileage that we're getting, or in kilometers if you want as well, and we really want to see where we'll be able to charge. We're thinking about getting an EV in the short term from Toyota. We're looking at the BZ4. So we're a little curious to know where can you charge, how difficult it is to find charging stations and so forth. So that'll be part of the trip as well. Houston, Texas is very far from New York. So we're looking at 3,000 kilometers. It's going to be quite a trip. So join us and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're going to be taking the RAV4 Prime here, and as you can tell, we've done is basically as you should do for any trip. We made sure that all the fluids are good, transmission, brake, and so forth. Made sure the oil was nice. Also make sure that the tires are properly inflated before you take a long trip. This one has very low mileage on it, very low kilometers, so we're not too concerned since it's a relatively new car. So the car's a year old at this point, so we were not expecting any mechanical issues. So let's just take it on the road and see what happens.
So this is the start of day 2. Day 1 was quite exciting, 450 kilometers, and we got to see some deer, 2 of which we narrowly missed. And we also got to see the Amish that were working the fields, and we also saw some wind turbines. Lots of those in upper state New York. Those are great to see. It's actually quite breathtaking if you haven't seen that many all in one spot. So the back roads are definitely a great source of entertainment as you drive, very scenic. Let's see what happens today.
Okay, so it turns out the charging is quite available. We're actually in the parking lot right now of a couple of hotels, and as you can tell behind me, there's Evolve New York, which if you've got the EVs, you can go ahead and charge them. It's nice that they've got the 2 different kinds of CCS and so forth. And if you've got a slower charger requirement, so in case of the Prime, basically you've got the Clipper Creek there that you just plug into and you can charge. Of course it does take several hours. It's not super fast, but then again it's just going to add some mileage or some kilometers to our range, so that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and let this charge and be back off for day 2.
Okay, so the first leg of our trip was 450 kilometers. And so far it's cost us $25 US in gas. So, and we still have 35 kilometers of EV, and we're gonna charge it. So let's get it back up to full, I guess, and we're at about half.
Day 3, well, yesterday was long and a little boring, just driving a lot of highway speeds. One of the things that I did discover with the car is there's no temperature gauge for the car itself, meaning that I can't see if it's overheating. I mean, we were driving quite a lot, and of course the motor gets very hot, and then the whole area, because I checked the oil, and of course everything gets super hot. On the bright side, there's nothing liquid-wise that changed. Still, oil was fine and everything else. I did get a maintenance required that popped up. We had the oil changed not very long before leaving, so that was a bit of a shocker, and of course it doesn't tell you what maintenance, so I'm going to have to assume that it's fine, and we'll keep going. Other fun adventures is one of the drone photographies that I was doing. I had 2 crows that decided mid-air to go and investigate the drone. They started circling the drone and decided to come very, very close to it. So I had to take immediate evasive action kind of thing and just drop the altitude right away and recover it before they could touch it, potentially hurt themselves or hurt the drone or both. So that was semi-amusing and scary at the same time. So we got to see lots of pastures, lots of hills, and of course driving up and down the cruise control got to be a little much in heavier traffic. It wasn't that much traffic, but people were driving, you always get the occasional person that drives way too fast and those that start braking for no reason, and so you've got to move out of their lane. But so it tends to sometimes detect people that are turning off and will slow down or brake relatively aggressively, and that might make a difference
And if you're prone to motion sickness or seasickness, this might cause that kind of a problem, especially in the rolling hills or the mountains of Virginia. So here we are in beautiful Mississippi. We had a great night with a lot of thunderstorms. It was lots of interesting display in the sky. Of course, today's actually 4th of July, so today I get to see a lot more display in the sky. Hopefully we'll see where we end up tonight to watch it all. And yeah, so we were lucky enough to find free charging here at this hotel. So that worked out really great. So we're fully charged for day 4 and we are ready to go. We're on our way to visit New Orleans right now. So we'll take a look around there and see if it's still the way I remember it, because I haven't been there in years. So far, messages for the car. There was a maintenance message that kept popping up. It does, I guess, get a little annoying. We did go ahead and reset and did not come back afterwards. So hopefully it was nothing serious. So let's see how the trip continues. So we are starting day 4 with 44 miles of EV and 421 miles. So basically, if I back up a little bit, it looks like we're pretty darn full everything, and off we go. So it's been 41 miles since we've last tanked the car. Hey, this is day 4, and one of the things that we discovered is that the charging stations are quite hard to find. So put that in the record books. Going from it's way up north all the way to Houston, Texas, charging is not an option in all cases. In some cases, the hotels offered it. Most cases, they did not. The shopping malls, some of them had them, but most of them did not. And as we moved further south, it was more and more difficult to find. So in total, right now, we made it to beautiful Texas, and we've charged total twice since our initial charge before we left. So not great, but then again, since it is a hybrid and it does allow us to use the ICE, the internal combustion engine, we were obviously able to gas up wherever we wanted and thus continue on our travels. If we had a pure EV, though, that definitely would have been a real nightmare. So here we are in our 3rd charger in this mall, and all of them are not working. So that's one of the pet peeves I've got so far. The previous mall that we had found a few days ago didn't have this problem. The first one we tried worked, but obviously this can get annoying. So anyway, we'll try yet another one and see if that works. But so far the EV charging experience has been less than optimal. What are you gonna do? Well, here we are in beautiful Houston. We made it on day 5, so it was quite a trip, but as you can tell, here we are. A lot of rain, a lot of sun, a lot of everything in between, especially lots and lots of food. So Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas as well. It's just endless food, and enjoyed every second of it. So thanks for joining me on this trip. I'm Bob Pellerin. Of course, you can leave some comments below. We love reading those. And of course, you could always visit us www.ctobob.com, and see you in the next video.